Hi folks, well this is a quick review of the Scheppach MBS1100. Now there is a lot of reviews on YouTube. Indeed, I looked at most of them before I bought this, but there was a couple of things that I didn't see on those reviews. I don't know if it would have changed my opinion had I seen them, but anyway, I shall have a quick look and tell you what I think. It says here, under the intended use, a portable metal saw with speed setting is exclusively suited for cutting wood, tubes, profiles and thin non-ferrous metals. Now, I've seen blokes cutting big lumps of steel and all sorts of bits, so it probably can cut that metal, and I shall find out once I get the thing together. Right, that's that. Secondly, it comes with a foreign plug and this weird adapter thing. Now obviously there's only two wires here, that means there's no earth system. In the UK we have a ground system. All our plugs have an earth which is attached to an earth system that goes right through everything and at some point goes into the ground. So if you do get any shorts in any machinery or whatever it is you're using, that live touches the outside for any reason, the power will go straight down to earth. It won't go through the person holding it. So you don't have that with these type of foreign adapter things. It all looks a bit flimsy to me. And what I might do is put a decent plug on it, or even better still, what a lot of people in the other reviews have done is permanently held the trigger shut, because it doesn't lock, and so you have to walk. If you can't walk away from it, you've got to be holding it while you use it, which, if like one guy on there was cutting a big chunk of 4B1 steel, you don't want to be holding it for 5-6 minutes while that does that. So everyone usually puts a cable tie around here or some sort of clip, and then puts an on-off switch here somewhere, so you can plug it in and you've got an on-off safety switch, which seems a good idea to me. Well, for now this is going to have to do, and it does seem like when you click it all down, that does seem, I wouldn't say that was I wouldn't say it was great, but oh, there you go. Yeah, it's in there anyway, probably won't kill anyone. So that's that. Now another thing I found is on the instructions, it says here, mounting the metal bandsaw on the saw table. Place your metal bandsaw on the support arm. Fix the metal bandsaw to the support arm with 3 screws. Tighten the screws after installation. All pretty straightforward, you would think. Well, when I tried to do that, this arm was still on the base, and it was coming up at an angle like that. So when you're trying to put it on there, the machine's at this sort of angle and it can be out that way. Now I was trying to do that on my own. If you've got a friend to hold it, you can look through the holes and get it to line up, that'd probably be a bit easier. But I would suggest, especially the first time you fit it, taking this arm off, which is one 19mm bolt nut. Obviously notice the way the washers come off, and put them all back on the same way, that goes without saying. And then it's a lot easier just to clip this to that. Now even doing that, I don't know, it was on my particular machine, maybe it had been someone who tried to do it, got the threads a little bit crossed, sent it back, they put some sellotape on, sent it back out to me, you don't know. Or it could be that that day when it was manufactured, the tap they used was a little bit worn, maybe it had done a few that day. But whatever the reason, when I went to put the bolts in the hole, I tried these two and the bolts wouldn't go in. This one won't go in either. As you can see, that's blooming tight. Now with something I've just bought, supposedly brand new, I don't want to be forcing it in there. I might be ruining the thread, I might crack this aluminium casting. So I use this, which is a 6mm by 1 thread cleaner. It's not a proper tap, it's just a thread cleaner, but you can put it in, you can run it through and it cleans up the thread. Now once I'd done that, I found that it was possible to screw the bolts in. So in my particular case they were a bit tight, too tight. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm sure you're dying to see me just run that through there, because we all live for that sort of stuff, don't we? But I'm not going to put you through that. I'm just going to clean that off camera. I'm going to bolt that on, bolt the machine up, and then we'll give it a little test. So I'll see you then. Okay, we're all set up. I've put a couple of cable ties just to keep the wire out the way, because where it is at the moment, the plug's over there. When it gets set up in its proper place, that won't be an issue. When you're putting the blade on, put it between the two little silver rollers first, get it lined up, because then it twists before it goes over the main drive rollers. I'm using this set square just to see what the blade is like, and when I set it to the 0 on the indents round here, or the markings, it wasn't quite right. So I suspect that once you've done a few cuts and you get it best cut in parallel, then remark them somehow. Okay, as I say, I've got it set slightly tight on the tension there. Let's cut a bit off this metal bit. Now this is not the best test because that's got paint there, so it might be putting it out a little bit. You have to put this bit a little bit away from it. Put it tight, just pull it back a smidge and then lock it. No. Okay, then a bit nearer. Now it's locked. Okay, I'll just turn it on. Got a pretty light on. And we'll have a go. Another thing I noticed on my initial cut is it was riding up and down a bit, and there is one point on this blade, the one that come with it, that's got a little, about an inch long with 4 little teeth, and that makes it ride up and down a little bit, as you'll probably see now. Now, probably difficult for you to see without something white behind it, but just there, there's one deep tooth that cuts right in there, and then there's 4 here that are very short. Now this might be a mixed blade. We got this short one and then a long one, short one, long one, etc. for different uses, but there, because there's 4 short ones together, it does tend to go like that a little bit. Now that's not terrible. For a £200 bandsaw, and for what I need it for, I think that's fairly good. It's just a tiny bit out, but I shall do a bit of experimenting, get it lined up, mark the indents so I know where we are, and then that should be good. I will also look at the other blade that came with it and see if there's the same problem there. It might just be this blade. As always with these things, you get what you pay for. I don't think that's too bad for £219 from Richard Dias in the UK as of March 2023. I'm pleased I bought it. For what I do, it's going to be very useful, and it's going to save my knackered shoulder from soring or trying to get a straight cut with an angle iron, which is notoriously difficult and a bit noisy if you tend to work quite late at night and your house is not far from your neighbours. Okay, cheers.